Hi, I'm Kathy Griffin. Can you believe I'm at this shit show? I know, I can't either. I have a fucking Porsche, and I'm here.
Don't be alone with Jake Hogan.
Hey guys, welcome to Don't Be Alone with Jake Hogan. I am Jake Hogan, and I am so thrilled that you're here. Please, if you get a chance, subscribe to the show wherever you listen to it, or wherever you see it. If you see it on YouTube, subscribe. I need subscribers. Please feel free to share the show. And definitely write me at dbawjk@gmail.com. That's dbawjk@gmail.com. Stands for Don't Be Alone with Jake Hogan. Clever, right? I want your comments, your criticisms, your suggestions, your compliments, and even your listener mail. I need your listener mail. Please, please give me some listener mail so I can read it on the show and have something to ask my guests. We have a great show for you today. A great friend of mine who I've known for decades. I performed with at the Groundlings and the very first beginning class there. I've known her for 45, 50 years. Kathy Griffin. Kathy has turned into an in-demand comedian and built her own fan base and her own style of shows. It's comedy, but it's also comedy with a gossipy vibe. If you like Kathy Griffin, you love Kathy Griffin. That's how it goes. And Kathy, interestingly enough, that persona of Kathy Griffin is Kathy Griffin. She is the girl who loves Hollywood, who loves gossip, who loves to chat, who likes to overshare. That's who she is. So we get a chance to do that in person with a great old friend and see how she's doing. She's led a very tumultuous life with a lot of ups and downs, unfair criticisms, maybe some fair, but a lot of unfair criticisms and a lot of trouble that she didn't deserve. But then also she's come through with incredible spirit and incredible resilience. And I want to talk to her about that because I think I could use some of her resilience. And so we'll be right back with Kathy Griffin right after this.
Don't be alone with Jake Hogan.
Kathy Griffin, thank you for being here.
Jake Hogan, my friend forever. I love you so much. All right, will you tell them one of the things we used to do together before my global fame?
Oh, that's right. I played piano for you.
You played piano for me because I would do any open mic night, whether it was a gay club or a straight club.
Right.
And
I was at the gay clubs anyway.
You were at the gay clubs doing your thing anyway in the bathroom.
Sure.
So I just snagged you out of that bathroom line and said, get to work.
Right.
And that's how determined you and I were to make it in this business, as we did whatever it took at the time.
We were both in our very first Groundlings class together.
Maybe the late 80s, Jay.
The beginning Groundlings class.
Yeah.
We can divide time any way you like.
I know,
in the late
but it
80s,
is
the early 80s,
I'm
however
just
you
so
want to
happy
say.
I still know you.
However you want to say the time flows, but it's fine. But we were in Phyllis Katz's class for a beginning Groundlings class.
Well, tell them what the Groundlings is.
They know. It's
like
a
the
great
premier improv theater group in Los Angeles. Now, if you're a Chicagoan, as I am, it's a second city-like situation where there's a school and it's like football where there's cuts. You have to make it to the next level of the school and you could get cut at any level. And then if you make it to the Sunday company, which you and I did,
that's correct,
then that's really big. And then you try to get into the Friday, Saturday company.
The main company.
The main company.
Which I did not.
No, but I was fortunate enough to get in by the skin of my teeth because everyone who voted for me said it was my vote that got you in.
Everybody says that, don't they?
Yes.
They want you to owe them something.
But I got to work with the great Phil Hartman, the late great Phil Hartman, who we knew and miss every day, and was so brilliant, Jay, that sometimes I would be on stage with him, and he's the only one that I would actually mentally leave the scene and become a fan. And I'd have to remind myself, oh, I'm playing his wife in this scene. Like, get it together, Griffin.
No, he was great. I mean, there's so many. I mean, all those. So
Will
many
Ferrell,
great Groundlings.
Sherry O'Terry. I mean,
I
many.
Judy Toll.
Our friend who went on to write for Sex and the City, talked me into doing stand-up comedy and said, I think stand-up is more your thing than sketches.
Talk about this.
Lisa Kudrow from Friends, played Phoebe on Friends, pulled me aside and said, I think you're good at sketch acting, but I think you're better at stand-up. And Judy Toll and Lisa Kudrow are really why I started doing open mic nights and doing actual stand-up.
I remember you started doing something called Hot Cup of Talk.
Hot Cup of Talk, which Dana Gould came up with the title for.
Okay.
And he's one of my favorite comedians and our longtime friend, brilliant guy. And I said, well, I don't do jokes per se. I tell these stories from my life. So it's like, and he said, like sitting around having a cup of coffee with your gossipy best friend who's going to spill way too much, not coffee, but gossip. And hopefully make you laugh. And so he said, why don't you call it Hot Cup of Talk?
It was fabulous.
And I was so insecure that to get industry folks, casting directors, producers, to come to a theater was so difficult that I only charged $1 for the show. And the show would be 4 comics, and I brought my mom's egg timer. And so I would start the show, set it for 15 minutes. When the bell rang, even if I was in the middle of a syllable, I would go, coming up next, Janine Garofalo. And then Janine would go do 15. She'd set the clock. Ding! Coming up next, Margaret Cho. And then we would often have a unique guest, like I had Lisa Kudrow herself did some stand-up one time, which was fun. Quentin Tarantino came and did some stand-up, which was fun.
That's crazy.
Super crazy.
Yes.
Because he just tells these stories. You know him.
Right. No. He talks. These people are all good talkers.
Yes.
These people are all good talkers.
Hot cups of talk.
But, okay, so you were always kind of fun and gossipy and had the sort of like wanted to know the inside scoop of everything. Everything. Personal, my life, anybody's life.
Everything's on the table.
Okay, but also like show busy kind of stuff and all the good.
Well, when I started doing stand-up, it was probably more about like my family and dating. And then when I finally started getting little gigs, and I mean, I did everything. I did a pilot with Fritz Coleman. Now, if you're a Los Angeles person, you know that name. He is a comic now, but he was a legendary weatherman.
Sure.
I don't want to say Ron Burgundy, because he really wasn't Ron Burgundy. He's a sweetheart.
Hip and cool like that.
No,
he's sort of your old grandpa.
Yes, but he was so valued that part of his financial deal was they said, we'll give you a sitcom pilot.
Right.
And I was in the cast, and I played a punk rocker.
I buy that.
I love you for buying that.
At a certain point in our lives, we could have been punk rockers.
Yeah.
Right? Why not?
I mean, I had a crinoline skirt, which is more Madonna, but I used to tie my hair in stockings.
Sure.
And then the other guest on the Fritz pilot was Thomas Dolby.
Okay.
Doesn't get more 80s than that.
That's very 80s.
So that was maybe the first set I was on. So then I started talking about meeting celebrities as I would audition more. And then when I started finally getting guest spots on like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Seinfeld or Mad About You or ER, then nobody was safe. Because then I started telling the behind the scenes, what really happens. And as you know, also when I was a complete unknown nobody, I still would make them let me bring my elderly drunken parents to every single set that I was ever on. And they loved you, Jay.
I love them. You're disparaging 2 people I love. They're not
They
elderly.
enjoyed the box of wine, Jay.
Elderly, drunken people. They were super fans. Let's start with that.
Okay.
They were super fans.
Yes.
Of yours, but also of show business.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I grew up here, so I kind of, I see a celebrity that's still kind of impressed, but they were just like, whoa, this is fantastic. And they loved it. They loved it. They loved it. And they loved you. And they were so sweet.
They would go up to celebrities and ask for tips for me. Yeah. At one time, they were filming a little show you may recall named Heart to Heart.
Sure.
And my mother, who was, I'm sure, tipsy, went up to Stephanie Powers and said, my daughter is trying to get in the biz. And she always called it the biz.
Sure.
Really? Sure, that's acceptable to you, Jay?
Because if you're from Chicago and you hear about show business, it's the biz. You want to use the insider phrase. That's what she wanted to represent. I get it.
When you're talking to Stephanie Powers, you want to kind of sound like you know the inside baseball.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
And Stephanie Powers said to my mother, tell her to take every single gig. And Jay,
Good advice.
I took that to heart.
Yes, but the great advice.
It's the best advice. My house is paid off. I'm happy. I was blacklisted for almost 7 years by the freaking president, and I'm still okay. I take every gig, and I take it with a smile.
Right. Now, I was told by, who is it, Phyllis Katz, who's told me that she had heard that you took your parents to the Polo Lounge every week or something like that?
My mother's dream was to post-retirement, because she worked at the admin office of a hospital, a Catholic hospital. And her dream was to be the hostess at the Polo Lounge. So she didn't want to really do the work part with like the writing down and the scheduling. She wanted to see the celebrities and who sat with who and who was naughty and who was nice. So I am absolutely a product of my parents. My dad was the shit talker, and my dad would say, fuck them if they can't take a joke. And he would always say, do the joke, Kathleen. I don't care if you never work again, which I did.
Right.
And my mom was more of the gossipy one, but then would act like she was shocked at everything I said. And her dream was that I would be Rita Rudner.
Right.
That was her. Why can't you just be more like that sweet Rita Rudner? Everyone loves her. You're too divisive, which is true.
Well, it's
she was right.
Yeah, but not too divisive. That's your hook.
Oh, wait till you read your comments after this, Jay.
I don't.
It's going to be sobering.
Part of what you offer to the fan is you're going to tell it like it is, right? That's your thing. And you pour it out, and you're unafraid to do stuff, and sometimes it's gotten you into some hot water.
Absolutely.
But overall, the people who love you even more and follow you found over time.
Yes.
When you were blacklisted, the dark time, there's a fan base who's with you no matter what. Yes.
And let me tell you, thank God for that fan base, and thank God for something as simple as ticket sales, because when I couldn't get work because of my very controversial photo of Trump's decapitated head, which if you just want to Google Kathy Griffin, Donald Trump, it comes right up there, covered in ketchup, actually. But it was a Halloween mask. Anyway, I was investigated by the Department of Justice. I was put on the no-fly list, the Interpol list, which is the international version of the no-fly list, the Five Eyes list, which is the ISIS terror watch list. I was detained at every airport in the States and abroad. And when you're detained, they take your phone and passport. So as much as I have a team of very expensive lawyers who I like very much, they're all brilliant. I've been sued 7 times since the Trump photo by Trumpers. And it lives on in their minds to this day. And I'm
sorry for the Surus.
The Surus was a lot.
I am happy that there's something out there that's jabbing them. I've got to be honest.
I mean,
I got to be honest.
If you want to go for the king, you got to cut his head off. And
exactly.
I thought people would get that it was a spoof of Perseus and Medusa, which no one did, and the cheese stood alone.
Yeah.
But now it's incredibly refreshing. People will stop me on the street and say, that picture is my screensaver, or it cracked me up, or you saw how dangerous he was when others didn't yet, or whatever. But I also know the Donald fairly well. I've done gigs for him. He hired me one time to roast him at Bedminster.
Oh.
And I'm not really a classic roaster.
No,
that's more Jeff Ross and stuff. Lisa Lampanelli, of course. And he knows my gig. And one time I sat next to him for 4 hours at a Larry King roast in New York. And I was in between the Donald and Gilbert Gottfried, and thank God for Gilbert, because he was so sweet.
Right.
And I kept turning him to saying, Gilbert, you've got to talk to me.
Right.
The Donald is so stupid, and he won't shut up, and he's such a star fucker. And every new person that came in, he would like freak out. And I was on The Apprentice twice, not as a contestant, but part of challenges.
One of the great joys of my life is I think that he, like your parents, loves celebrities. And the fact that for the most part, he is in exile from the best of the best of people. He hated by everybody, and he knows it, and he feels it, and he pretends like it doesn't matter, and he'll go out with Kid Rock or some really third third-rate version of a celebrity, and I love that.
I love that he's taking political advice from Bob Ritchie, which is Kid Rock's real name.
Okay.
And yes, he is furious that he has Chachi and Rob Schneider. He's furious. And I love what I do. And I'm so grateful that, like you said, I lost a lot of my fan base, a lot of my Southern fan base, obviously. But I gained a lot of the liberals in the sort of MSNBC crowd.
You have them already?
No, because I really, as you know, I was never a political comedian until this. And now I'm somehow the Ann Coulter of the left, which cracks me up because I really talk about the Kardashians and my own misadventures. But I will, I'm going back on tour November 8th. I'll be at Planet Hollywood in Vegas.
Yeah.
I am going to go for Trump pretty hard on this next tour.
Okay. All right.
Because the last tour I had a different story to tell, but this time I'm going to go for him. Not mostly. I'll probably only do a 2-hour show, but I'll probably do like 15 minutes. But I will tell you, it's actually traumatic for me to now have to start following his hijinks again.
Right.
Because I've been on since my own incident where the feds really tried to charge me with the felony of conspiracy to assassinate the president of the United States.
Right. Instead of doing a joke, which is also political speech.
Of course. Of course.
That's
and I when it was happening, I called the great David Steinberg. I called so many comedians, and they were shocked at the response. And I have talked to, believe it or not, I have Trump friends. And I know that's hard to believe, but I have friends that didn't vote, which I struggle with. I have friends that are Trumpers, and I struggle with that. But my whole life, I've had friends of all parties, and my mom was a Republican and my dad was a Dem, and so I grew up with that at the dinner table. But I've never seen anything like this with the Donald, because I've done jokes about, you know, the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky scandal, and W with the Mission Impossible banner, and HW being the former CIA secretary, and all the shady stuff he did. And so it was always very much on the table to make fun of a president for any comedian.
Still is.
And when I ask my Trumper friends why they vote for him, if it isn't the usual misinformation, like he's a really good businessman and all of the business mishaps are fake news.
By the way, he now is a really good businessman because he's turned all of this into billions of dollars. He actually has
money now.
Exactly, for real. As opposed to pretend money. Yeah.
He had pretend money for a long time.
So he's got the Riz, meaning that
they think it's a vibe. I hear from people that voted for him that they just go, I don't know, I like his vibe. And I don't know what to do with that information, Jay.
But when people meet him, they don't instantly hate him. He finds a way to ingratiate himself sometimes. Not to you at that dinner.
The last time I saw him, which was at Bedminster, as I walked up to him, because he called me and he wanted me to do the gig for $10K. And I said, Donald, I'm not flying to Jersey for $10K.
Right.
I go, my price is $50 and take it or leave it. So he gave me the $50. I mean, the Washington Post did a whole story on this, by the way. David Fahrenthold, who won a Pulitzer Prize, was the reporter of note, et cetera. And so I said, okay, I'll do it for $50. And the reason I did it is because I was the host of a charity challenge on The Apprentice. And I said, well, if I'm hosting, who's the headliner? And the headliner was Liza Minnelli.
Okay.
Now, Jay.
Yes.
You know me.
You're going to show up for Liza.
Oh.
Yes.
Every minute of every day. And any way we can show up for Liza, we do. She is our queen. And so I spent the day with the Donald and the Liza, and the Donald was driving us around in a golf cart, and Liza was saying, oh, honey, get him to slow down. Honey, he's going too fast. And I had a perfectly sort of fun day with the Donald. And he was just in his element, and he said, oh, and he made the sign of the cross with his 2 forefingers. Oh, here she comes. Don't be too tough on the hair. And I said, I want to touch it. I want to touch the nest. And it feels just like a bird's nest. Doesn't move.
No.
I don't know who does it. I said, does Melanie do it? Because I call the wife Melanie. And
she does nothing. She absolutely does nothing. No way.
So that was my experience with the Donald the last time I saw him. So when he came at me, it was, I will say, a part of him I did not know But I also I didn't live in New York, so I didn't know the racial stuff about the Central Park attack and how he threw those kids under the bus.
For sure. Yeah.
And I had not seen that ad. And that's not something he would mention if I would run into him at an NBC Universal, which is now Peacock event.
Right.
He was just very starfucky and was always up my ass about something and wanting to be near me and be photographed with me. I have pictures with him. I have felt his hair. I have seen him degrade Eric and Don Jr. to a point that it was uncomfortable for me.
No.
And now they both come for me hardcore. And the way he acts around Ivanka is so awkward, Jay. It is so clear that he has a crush on her. It's
creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah. There's a couple different things. On the show, I usually have somebody come and help me with my problems.
Okay.
That's all what the show is about.
Okay.
So you're here to help me with my problems. And my problem is that I don't think I have as much resilience as I should. And you're somebody who has a lot of resilience. You've had
cancer. I have half a lung on my left side. The divorce I just went through took me out. It was worse than the cancer. There's just the pain.
So yeah, you're broken-hearted. The career setbacks. The cancer.
Loss of many friends because of the Trump scandal. Many industry. Correct. We're not real friends.
Right.
Al Franken calling me at home saying, what were you thinking? And I was going to host 2 book events for him for free. And he said, I can't be seen with you. And, that made me sad because I had fundraisers for him at my home.
Right.
And I'll tell you who stuck by me, and I love him, is Booker. So Senator Booker is the real deal.
Yeah.
And he is the only elected, and Speaker Pelosi, that would actually reach out. Mm. And so, it was a really difficult time.
Your book. You've got Pelosi and Booker in your book, in your contacts. All right. Well, so you say you're not political, but look at your friends.
I am a political junkie, but I still don't I think of Bill Maher being a political comic. Mm-hmm. All right. So you want more resilience?
I want more resilience. But I think, the ability to bounce back. And I always thought of you as somebody who had this, really strong woman who can do this stuff. And I've come to find out, you still have your thing. PTSD is now a part of who you are.
Diagnosis, yes.
I'm watching your Substack.
Thank you.
Every 4 minutes, there's a new Kathy Griffin Substack that I'm watching.
I know. I'm on Substack and Patreon, and they're paid because I am my mother's daughter. And I do the other socials as well, TikTok. I don't do X anymore, but I am in a beef with Elon. Okay. Personally.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I made a joke about him that he didn't like. Mm-hmm. And then I changed my account name from @KathyGriffin to @Elon Musk. Right. And I started tweeting very lefty, pro-woman things.
Right.
And then some of it got picked up as if it was really Elon. Then his fan army came after me.
Oh, yeah, they're
yes,
bad.
And they talked about how dry my vagina is, was the #1 topic. And that I'm old and irrelevant and too ugly to rape. And why didn't cancer kill you? So a lot of the Elon fans it's an army. They call it an army for a reason. Yeah, then Elon pulled my account and it turned into the gray egg. Uh-huh. And then he tweeted that he pulled my account because I was impersonating a comedian, which he stole because that joke had actually been going around on Twitter a full day. And so then I wrote back, you are a hack's hack. Right. You actually stole a tweet from one of your own fans. Very sad. You are not a genius. I am on to you.
His thing, he wants to be considered funny. And
Tell me about it.
He's not funny.
What about when Dave Chappelle brought him out on stage? Have you seen that video?
No.
Okay. So there's Dave, the GOAT.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. I wish he would lay off the trans people because I feel like he's almost obsessed. But I don't think I think he's a genius and maybe he is the GOAT. Right. And you and I have known David since he was probably 18.
I don't know Dave Chappelle on a personal level at all. I think I met him twice, but I don't know him. I respect his work a lot.
Respect his work a lot. The last time I saw him live, it was and I'm not religious, but it was like going to church. He was so good.
Yeah,
so
I just
admire his work tremendously. And I've always gotten along really well with him. And I've had really fun times with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like one time I got to be a presenter at the Mark Twain Awards to Eddie Murphy, who I had met one time for 5 minutes.
Right.
And I went to David's room and I said, let's go knock on Eddie's door in our pajamas. And he was like, you are so crazy. And we did. And it was really funny because Eddie's wife opened the door. So there's Kathy Griffin and Dave Chappelle in our robes.
Right.
And then finally I just kept yelling, Eddie, Dave Chappelle made me come into your room. Dave Chappelle made me come into your room. And then we ended up like having one of the great like comedy moments of my life. Like, come on, legend
they're
time.
all, I mean, both of them are amazing. I worked with Eddie Murphy on a movie. He's the smartest, best, most wonderful, and a great actor.
And
great
a
actor.
movie star, like an old school movie star. Not that he shouldn't do TV, and he doesn't. I'm just saying he's from SNL. But
that magic something that everybody says, what is that thing he has? But I honestly want to talk about how I know that you had a tough, heartbreak in your life, and I know that it's
that's my Achilles heel.
Yes,
I'm a foolish romantic, and so that sort of thing. Just when I fall in love, I fall in love. I mean, I was with a guy for 4 years that worked at Thank God It's Fridays, and I was madly in love with him. So I really, when I fall in love with a guy, it's not what he can procure for me.
Right.
I have my own money. I don't need you to pay my bills.
Right.
If I love you, I love you.
Right.
And that's my Achilles heel.
Okay, but I mean, it's not an Achilles heel. It's in the best of all possible worlds, love is great and fantastic.
That's why I still think there might be another guy out there for me.
Of course there is.
But it's based on nothing, Jay. I have no evidence. As a woman with many attorneys, and I'm taking free online law classes at harvard.com, and I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
Because I am fascinated by the law, having been through so much litigation, that I have no evidence to support that I will, at the tender age of 64, having become an accidental, controversial person, which I never meant.
Right.
I did want to be famous, you know me, but not infamous.
I know, but you don't get the choice sometimes.
But I don't know why I think there might still be somebody out there for me.
Why wouldn't there be?
Have you met LA? I mean, the guys my age want a 22-year-old named Svetlana, and she looks like one of the Kardashians or any of them. And then they have to pay to start her handbag line or her skincare line,
right? Which
I don't need.
Okay. There's a certain type of guy who wants that. There's lots of certain types of guy who don't want that. Recently, I went on a date. I'm on the dating apps for real as myself, which is crazy. As a subscriber to your Substack, I know all about your dating life. And I'm not trying to fool anybody. Right. I'm not under a pseudonym. I'm not a no picture. It's me. Right. And I want to meet like real people. I'm not looking for like Hollywood people that lie on the apps or whatever. This is something that you've always done too. Now this is You've leaned towards real people rather than Hollywood assholes. Yes. Because you thought they'd be safer or realer. I think I grew up with that. And so it's kind of what I know. Right. But sometimes it has backfired. Sometimes it's backfired. Sometimes it's backfired. Yeah. So as a Hollywood asshole, I'm just saying like, give the Hollywood asshole a chance. Okay, but you can't want Svetlana. I'm not 23, and you don't have to fund my fake skincare line. Whatever direction they have to swipe on you if they want Svetlana, right? I had to have a Gen Zer do my profile because I'm so old and I couldn't even figure out how to do the forms. So it started out as a dare from the singer Sia, right? A singer-songwriter, shine bright like a diamond. Involved in all my comedian friends are pals with Sia. How did that happen? When she wants to meet someone, she will make it her business. It's like and Julia and Lisa Kudrow and all these people love Sia. Yes, she is a magical person. Right. And she's my bestie, and I just love her to death. And so I was at her house 3 weeks ago, and Nia Vardalos was there, who created the incredibly successful Big Fat Greek Wedding franchise. Right.
and they dared me to go on the apps.
Why is there no Big Fat Greek Yogurt franchise? How is she not?
Who's going to think of that?
Come on.
Where's the merchandising?
She can make the money right now.
She could do it in Greece. Do you know that she's the Britney Spears of Greece?
Is that right?
Oh, I swear to God. When she goes to Greece, she has to have security. She is the de facto queen of Greece. Yeah. And she has a Greek boyfriend who just moved here, Spiros, and he was helping with the apps because every time I didn't answer, Spiros would yell, "No, too scary. That's too scary." And, because I wanted to put like my real story is that I sleep with all 4 of my dogs, which is a total cock block. Okay. I love it. I feel their love like nothing else I can explain. They help me with the cancer. They help me with the breakup. They just...
It's the love you want because it's wholehearted. It's complete. There's no judgment in it.
They're comedy animals.
They're adorable. They're funny and kind of. They also are a good reflection of what you're feeling at any given moment.
Yes.
So you feel seen.
They know if I'm having a tough day. They hang out with me more or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when I was saying, well, I should put on the apps that I like to go to bed at 6:30 at night with an audiobook, preferably written by a woman with my 4 dogs, he nixed that.
Right.
He said, no, walks on the beach. And so I did have one date where, the guy didn't do anything wrong technically, but he did.
Technically?
I mean, it's my own issue because he did describe that if he wanted to, he could kill me in under 2 seconds with his thumb.
Right.
Now, he didn't say, "I want to kill you."
No. He was trying to impress you with his prowess, his self-defense prowess.
And then used his thumb and said, you grab the person by the back of the neck, you take your thumb, you dig it into their Adam's apple.
Right.
And
to show you that he'd be a good protector and that what you want from a man is a little protection. He has that option.
But here's the problem. I'm more like a dude.
Yeah.
And so that's what I run into is I'm a chick, but I'm in like a male-dominated field, and I'm like ballsy, and
So you have this drive, and you're unstoppable. Why is that drive and unstoppableness not with this other thing about your romantic life or whatever?
I think I miss the red flags because I'm so career focused. My brain is always writing, as is yours, I'm sure, and so I think sometimes I miss the forest for the trees. And I also...
My brain is always thinking about writing, not really writing. Like writing is harder.
Writing is
my brain
really
is like,
hard.
Yeah, that would be really good. I should write that down someday. And then I go on to do my lazy thing.
Okay, so tell people this. In a real live sitcom writer's room, how many hours are you in the room and how many hours are you actually typing?
Oh, I mean, first of all, you're not typing. Somebody else is typing if you're a writer in the writer's room. But the amount of time you're writing on a day that you're working for 10 hours. What was your
Simpsons schedule?
Well, we get there at 9 o'clock and we leave at 3 a.m.
I mean, Jay, that is insane.
Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't all writing. It's a lot of it's thinking.
Okay. Well, how much of it is like, okay, that's going in the show.
Right. And a lot of it's just me, putting whipped cream on my face. It's like there's room jokes and other things that are going on at the same time. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nerf balls and throwing people through pudding. Wally Wolodarski, my writing partner, I threw pudding on the ceiling and it stayed there. It's still there.
Okay,
after
good.
30 years.
Good.
It's
classic.
But writing, nobody writes for 10 hours.
No.
Nobody writes for 10 hours. We think and we mull and we think and we joke and we get lunch and lots of things have to happen to get a script out.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of how I approached my act. Yeah. So like knowing that have a show November 8th, I admit that when I was on the date with the thumb guy,
you're thinking, this is for the act.
Of course I did.
Okay.
He said he could kill me in under 2 seconds, Jay. You can't write that.
No.
That's real.
Right.
And the people in the audience know me enough to know I didn't make that up out of thin air.
No, this is not particularly to you, but don't all women think that all men are going to kill them anyway?
Oh, yeah. And we know you're going to dismember us in 7 parts. It's always 7.
I get bummed out that women think I'm going to kill them.
We do.
Because I understand that you do.
We do.
I get bummed out that that's a thought that happens to strangers and probably my wife also. Like everybody always thinks that men are going to kill them.
We are scared every time we walk down the street alone, even during the day.
Right.
Because if you get to my age, I've had Trumpers come up
Right.
and push me on the shoulder so hard that I almost fell on the sidewalk and yell, that's from Trump or whatever. I've had fans that were so enthusiastic. Somebody picked me up and flipped me upside down, and he was a fan.
Okay.
And he did it so fast. It was actually on camera. And he was like, I love you, girl, and hugged me.
Right.
And so that's why we have that fear, is we've had actual experiences that are scary.
Trumper pushing you down, that's assault.
Yes.
What do you do with that?
I keep walking.
All right.
I keep walking.
You call the police?
Because the cops are Trumpers. When I talk to my security team and I have to hire actual security, which I do sometimes, I will say, sorry to do this, but I need you to make sure that the person you're sending me is not a Trumper. And his answer to me was, ma'am, that question is fair. 85% of my guys are Trumpers.
Right.
And so that's a conflict of interest.
Right.
I don't know that guy has a hidden agenda, or maybe in the moment he won't have,
you need to be able to keep people accountable if they're going to physically harm you, which is against the law, whereas doing a political joke is not against the law.
Correct. And when that happened, when that guy knocked me on the street like that, I had a show that night at 8. And Joan Rivers in me was like, I'm not missing the show.
By the way, I'm the same way, and I agree with that completely.
But if you see me, don't push me. Don't push me. I'll go down.
Don't push anybody.
No,
that's crazy.
Don't push anybody. I don't push anybody.
No, it's ridiculous. All right. Tell me about, in your brazen manner, you're just you say what you think.
Yeah.
Who have you hurt that you maybe regret?
Well, I did an episode. I have a YouTube show called Kathy Griffin Talk Your Head Off.
Right.
And it's just me popping off in the camera. And I did do an episode where I apologized to Brooke Shields because I put a story in one of my specials about her that she did not like, has not spoken to me since. I knew her husband before she even met him. And I think he also was not pleased. But I will say she saw me do the story live, was okay with it then, but seeing it on camera is a different animal.
Right. Okay.
So I get why she would kind of disown me, because she was like, it was one thing to see in a small theater.
Right.
Now it's like anybody in the world can see this story. And it was a story about her mom, who was a very famous momager long before Kris Jenner. And Brooke had to deal with her mom's issues when Brooke was a child.
All her life. That special that she did about her whole family and her life. It's an amazing special.
It's called Pretty Baby. It's on Hulu. It's a must watch.
Right. It's and you have such sympathy for her. It's incredible.
Talk about resilience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty great. You don't think somebody like Brooke Shields would have that tough a life, and it turns out she did.
She sure did.
Yeah. But okay, so you heard Brooke, but is there somebody who you hadn't met, who you maybe offended on the way and then met later and gone, oh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get confronted all the time. The most dramatic one was the late, great Whitney Houston.
No.
And I was hosting the Billboard Music Awards, and, as you know, in between, the band is setting up or whatever, and you're told, okay, now you have 40 seconds to be funny, go. So what I usually would do was make fun of whoever had just performed or just presented, and in a way that I hoped would be amusing, not just vicious.
Right.
And so Whitney was there, and she came up to me backstage, and this is a pretty big award show. Like, it still goes on.
Sure.
Usually the host is treated pretty well. I was being treated very well by the producers, the network, everything. I'm in a long rented ball gown, the whole thing, body makeup, the whole thing.
Like they do.
And Whitney came up to me and really got in my face. And she had her sweaty finger and she was pointing at me and she just kept saying, "Don't you talk about me. Don't you talk about me." And she was with her bodyguard. And then I thought,
ironic.
And it wasn't Kevin Costner.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was with her not Kevin Costner bodyguard. And I thought, oh, his job is he just kind of watches while she threatens to kill people. But she was scary. And of course, I'm a super fan. And to this day, like, I'm on her TikTok algorithm and I love her. But she did not appreciate my humor. And then I walked out on stage because it was a live show. and said, "You guys, guess what Whitney Houston just did to me?"
Right.
She just came up to me with her cracky finger, waved it right in my face, and screamed at me, "Don't you talk about me, don't you talk about me."
Right.
So then I was like running away from Whitney Houston backstage. Like, if you could have seen it, before there was reality TV.
Was she drugged up in that moment?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to allege very much so.
Seemingly
so.
Right.
And I also am going to say, which you know, but the 90s and the aughts, the mandate for comedy at that time was viciousness. It was almost exclusively roasting type of material. So even the bosses were like, go for it. Like, go for the jugular. Like when I hosted the roast for Joan Rivers, it was interesting because the vibe was so vicious that other comics were dropping out. Like Lily Tomlin dropped out a day before the taping.
Wow.
So I called Lily and I said, don't do this to Joan. Like, she wants the roasters to be people that she knows and stuff. And Lily said this thing that stuck with me to this day. She said, don't you think Joan Rivers has been roasted enough? And I was like, I respect both. I respect Joan being mad at Lily, not forever, but for a minute. And yet I respect Lily being like, even though it's the day before, I can do it to David Hasselhoff. There was a Donald Trump roast. There was a Pam Anderson roast. You know, you know, all the writers, you know, Joel Gell and the producer. But, you know, the mandate was like, go for the jugular.
Yeah.
And that, I worked a lot during that go for the jugular period. So when I think back about some of my old specials, I myself cringe.
I want to also mention that you have a movie coming out called My Life on the PTSD List.
Yes, it's coming out on YouTube because it's feature length.
All right.
And the powers that be wanted me to cut it down to an hour. And just this one time, I thought, you know, I can't tell this story in an hour. And so I'm going to just put it on YouTube. I probably won't make a dime.
All right.
I paid for it myself, but I really hope people like it and laugh and find it entertaining.
So, Pete,
My Life on the PTSD list.
So look out for that as it goes. But so here's question time.
Okay.
It's question time.
A Weird Algorithm writes, I want to hear about Tarantino going to the Groundlings to recruit her and other people for Pulp Fiction cast. And what were your experiences, thoughts, and were there any backlash from unhired Groundlings?
Okay, well, first of all, I carried that film.
Of course you did. It's your film.
It's why it won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival.
Right. I think of it as a Kathy Griffin movie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Kathy Griffin and Friends.
Right.
And what Quentin did, because we were dating at the time, which was not unusual. I'm not saying we were exclusive or he was in love with me. He was, you know who he was really in love with? He was really in love with Margaret Cho.
Okay.
Like, they went out for a long time, but he was really in love with Margaret.
Right.
And who wouldn't be?
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
But
so anyway, but that's a little dish.
Team.
Well, remember, Margaret's queer.
Okay.
So the team is fluid.
Okay.
And at that time, it was Team Quentin.
Okay.
And then I think she may have even been the one that broke it off.
Okay.
So, wait, what was the question?
The question was there any backlash from other Groundlings or any?
I'm sure if I had not gotten the opportunity to have 3 lines in Pulp Fiction, which really was exciting, like just to be there with Ving Rhames, who my scene was with, and Bruce Willis, and be around Quentin at that time. Like, I had not seen Reservoir Dogs, and he thought that was appalling.
Right.
So he assembled the cast
to
and
watch.
took me to see it at the New Beverly.
Fantastic.
So I went to see Reservoir Dogs with the dogs.
Right. Fantastic.
And then we went to the diner across the street. That's a bucket list moment.
Fantastic.
So I don't know if the other Groundlings were pissed, but if I had not been chosen for a small role, I would be pissed.
What has been the best show to work on?
Oh man, this is going to sound selfish, but I really love doing my own specials because I get to write, produce, and almost direct and perform. And so having the freedom to say the shit that I think you guys think is funny is the best. But as far as like shows to work on, like, it was very exciting to be on Fresh Prince because Will Smith was just off his rap career. I was on episode 5 of the entire series.
Wow.
Quincy Jones was there, just kind of like watching, and that was a wild.
Did your parents get to meet Q?
Yeah. They got to meet Q.
Fantastic.
And
that's so great.
It's
That's so great.
Great.
Oh,
and I was
that.
like, don't call him Q. Like, don't call him Mr. Jones.
I want them to call him Q.
I know you do, but just no. It's a bad look for me.
It's so fantastic.
And I got to be on ER once when Quentin directed.
Oh, wow.
So I got to have a scene with George Clooney. And then Quentin and Clooney and I went into Clooney's dressing room and made crank calls. And that was really fun.
That's fun. That's beautiful.
Do you like what a serious actress I am? That I'm not talking about any of the actual acting.
That's the fun part. This is that's
making crank phone calls with Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney.
That's what's great.
Come on, that's fucking great.
All right. Wef Comedy Jam wants to know, do people hate her because of that Seinfeld episode? What is he talking about?
Oh, I've done 2 episodes of Seinfeld, and the second one they wrote for me, which was incredible, because I did 1 episode. I thought Jerry was a dick. And then in my very first HBO, which is now Max, special, I did a story about what a dick Jerry was in real life. And Larry David promised Jerry will never see it. You have nothing to worry about. The last thing Jerry Seinfeld is going to do is watch your comedy special. So I then get a call from my agent saying, Jerry Seinfeld called. He's furious. He's sending something to the agency. And I have a framed letter in one of my guest bathrooms from Jerry yelling at me that is so precious to me. And he brags that he actually made it an exercise in the room, that all the writers got together and came up with this letter
the right thing to say,
to put me in my place.
Oh, very good.
And it is now a framer.
Oh, good for him. He's, you got to defend yourself if you're Jerry Seinfeld.
Thank you.
Billy writes, has she ever had an idea for a cartoon, and would she do a voice on The Simpsons?
I did a voice on The Simpsons.
There you go.
I was so honored. I was nervous as hell because it's so iconic. I did the show Dilbert, which was directed by the great Larry Charles. I did 2 seasons of that. I know I have a unique voice. So yes, I love doing voice work.
All right, now it's time for something we call listener mail.
Now it's time for listener mail.
It's a question that was sent in to me. They didn't know you were going to be the guest.
Oh, good.
So this is a question for me and my guest, which happens to be you.
Okay.
Jay, you've been doing stuff for a while and become pretty successful. And your guest must be too, if they're famous enough to be your guest. So what keeps you going? Why not stop? Why not do something else? With love, Augustine.
I love that question. Go.
All right, well, why not stop? Well, I haven't saved $50 million like my friend Kathy Griffin.
You could buy and sell me 10 times over.
So first of all, I like getting money, but also I don't know what I don't know what I would do, and B, I feel like I have so much stuff left to do. Like I feel like my creative stuff is just getting started. To be cliche, it's like the Billy Joel lyric, like you're gonna get kick off before you even get halfway through.
Yeah.
Like, no amount of time will let me do all the things I want to do. And I don't even know if I can do the things I want to do, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Because I have this desire and I like content. I don't know how to make movies and TV shows right at this moment, but it's things will sort themselves out.
Yes.
What about you? What keeps you going?
Same. I still have so much material in me. I still say to anybody that watched Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D-List, my life is exactly still like that. There just aren't cameras following me.
Right.
But I am a magnet for crazy. I've always been a magnet for crazy. I am very drawn to, and I think Dana Gould has this quality too, and I'll use the word quality, but I'm very drawn to quirky situations like going on the dating apps.
Right.
Like, I know it's probably not the best idea.
Well,
Logically.
especially somebody who's got security and is worried about, I mean, that seems like the opposite of security.
Someone who's been on the no-fly list.
I mean, as somebody who cares about you, why would you do that?
Because I have to bring a security guy on every date and have him sit like 5 tables away.
All right.
I know. Because
is that not a hindrance?
It's a hindrance. Because
like if I'm on a date with you and there's a security guy, it's like,
oh, well,
I'm not going to make my move.
I don't tell the date.
I'm not going to make my move on her because
he might be packing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so here's something that I agreed to do because I just can't not.
Okay.
So I got an email from the late, not great, but the late Larry Flint, founder of Hustler magazine, porn magnate, but who also won the landmark Supreme Court case, Jerry Falwell versus Hustler magazine. So you and I have the right to say whatever we want in this moment. And he was the only one that had the money to fund that case going all the way to SCOTUS, argued by, we shared a lawyer. I don't know if you know that, but I didn't know Larry well, but we shared a First Amendment attorney who was actually portrayed in the film The People versus Larry Flint by Edward Norton. So anyway, that's the real Alan Isaacman, is still around, and I love him. And I got an email that I didn't read properly. I thought it was from his daughter saying, I've written a memoir about my dad. Will you do a book event at Book Soup, which is a very cool indie bookstore here in Los Angeles? And I thought, oh my God, this woman survived Larry Flint as a father. The least I can do as a feminist is show up, moderate, make her look great, help her sell books. So she then says, can we have lunch first? Of course. Who doesn't want to have lunch with Larry Flint's daughter? Well, can you imagine the stories?
Sure.
Can you imagine?
Right.
All right. I reread the email as I'm about to go into the lunch, and I see it's actually Larry's widow who Larry left $500 million to. So I'm now a little bit obsessed with her because she started as the night nurse. And now she's got the $500 million.
That's a good
so
position.
We did the book event at Book Soup. One guy was in the front row, and she said to me after the event, did you see that guy with the dick hanging out? And Jay, I swear to God, I didn't notice.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, there was a guy in the front row, and he unzipped his pants and whipped his dick out. And I was like, Liz, you are good. You are really better at this than I am. So she's going to have another book signing at the Barnes & Noble at the Grove.
Was she upset about the dick or just commenting?
It was like nothing to her.
Okay, yeah.
She's seen it all.
Okay.
She has seen it all.
All right.
And so I'm going to do the other book event because I can't resist this woman and her story.
Sure.
And if it ends up in the act, my apologies in advance.
Well, I mean, that's a caveat you say to everybody about everything at this point.
Everything.
Yes.
Yes.
At this point. I mean, I hope I get into the act.
When I did the Book Soup, when she sent one of her bodyguards in the Rolls Royce to pick me up in Malibu, because I live in Malibu now, and it's a bit of a drive, as you know, but worth it. And that was just funny to be in Larry Flint's Rolls Royce with his bodyguard packing heat.
Yeah.
Because there was an attempt on Larry's life, as you know, and he was famously in a wheelchair.
Right.
But I will tell you that the book is a coffee table book, not a memoir, and it is nothing but pages of pussy. Now, Jay, I don't mean it alludes to the vaginal area.
No. Yeah.
I mean it's spread eagle, pussy after pussy after pussy.
Sounds like it would go with the decor in my house.
I was going to say, and her motto is think pink.
Right. Okay.
See, she's a smart woman.
Yeah, I have the vulva room, and it would go, a coffee table book like that would go right perfectly in
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
That's really nice. Maybe a signed copy? Maybe you can arrange a signed copy?
I'm going to get you a signed copy.
Do you think the second book is also going to be all about vaginas?
Yes, because she knows the brand.
There wasn't enough said in the first book.
I'm sorry, do you want to argue with $500 million? Because I don't. I'm pro Liz.
She didn't, the book didn't get her the $500 million.
No, at all.
Right.
But, she did play the long game with Larry.
Okay.
I mean, I got to respect that.
I do. I respect that. I absolutely respect it. Well, I think I got a good sense of you, Kathy. It's a good, this has been a very lovely show.
Well, if you don't, no one does, Jay.
Well, now here's the thing. I've known you for, I don't know, 40, 50 years, a long time. And over the course of time, sometimes we've not been spending a lot of time. I've reached out to you sometimes when I thought things were not going well. Hurting. And I just want to say, I love you and you're okay. Sometimes you don't reach back, but that doesn't mean that I'm not there.
Bad about
That's
that.
okay.
It's my depression. Right. Sometimes my depression makes it so even just like typing on the phone, I just admit I'm like not capable of it. Like I can become like almost immobile with depression sometimes.
Of course you can. That's what depression does.
But I really apologize because I've read everyone and love you so dearly.
Don't apologize. I'm saying that it's true. I still care about you. And if things are going badly, I don't want them to go badly. If things are going great, I'm thrilled. And so even if I don't if I'm not in the inner circle, I'm still there. I just want you to let you know.
I love you because I was looking forward to today so much because I knew that being with you would be like we were together yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about you, is you're the real deal.
Kath, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I want everybody to come see you at the Planet Hollywood, November 8th.
Yes.
Right?
And I'm coming to a city near you. Check my website, go on my Substack, my Patreon, all my socials.
The Substack is fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know about the Patreon because I can't afford it, but the Substack is fantastic. And also, look out for the movie, My Life on the PTSD List on the YouTube.
Yes.
Coming soon.
Yes. I think October 1st.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you.
I'm
glad
Jay.
that you were here. And I love you, some dear subscribers. Thank you for being here. Please spend time talking to somebody. It's good if you can spend time talking to somebody. Anyway, well, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Don't be alone with Jay.